Hello. Welcome. Today, I have a very special video for you. Today, we have the privilege of talking to a very, very old person. This gentleman is 125 years old. How old he is exactly is not known, but I'm very curious in what life lessons and stories he's able to share with us. Let's go. During my visits in the rural mountain regions of Togo, outside of Palimé, I have heard of the rumor that there was somebody out there 125 years of age. Supposedly, he isn't the only one. Apparently, there are several individuals in the villages whose age exceeds well over the 100-year mark. My objective was clear. I had to meet one of them and bear witness to the stories this person had to share, and most importantly, uncover the reason for how somebody can reach such a magnificent age. Our path to the gentleman was long and treacherous. On winding roads, littered with potholes, we raced up and down mountainsides atop our motorcycles, peering into the vast wilderness of the jungle as we passed through several small villages. After each, the road ahead would gradually become narrower and narrower, until it completely disappeared. We walked the last distance of a beaten path until we came across our destination. Ahead lay a lonely, isolated little cottage in the middle of the jungle. Hello, monsieur. I will begin with my first question for you. Can you tell us something about yourself? What is your name? How old are you? Where are you from?
My name is Kochato. I'm 125 years old and I was born in Farinde in 1897, a small quartier of Kara, a city in the north of Togo. In 1920, I was living in Kara. I worked for the French colonizers. Back then, I was 25. I was a young man. I was fit. My obligation to the French expired in 1945 due to my age, so I was free to go. I worked for them for 25 years. I met my wife, and after my parents' death, I had no connection to Kara, so I decided to leave for Palimé, where I started a family in the small village of Bilifu, where I have remained to this day. In Bilifu, I met a good friend named Klute, who took me under his wing and showed me a place where I could settle.
Monsieur Kachatal, can you tell us more about the colonization period? How was it like for you?
The French colonizers forced us to do work like building roads and bridges. We built bridges in Kara over the Sosa River and the Pagoda River. We also built roads from Koza and Piadzena to Kara. We suffered greatly under the French colonizers. We didn't get any pay for our work. We were punished severely if we don't do our work properly. We would be ordered at a moment's notice to drop everything we were doing and to start working, whether we were eating at the moment or were with our family. We suffered very greatly under the French colonization after the Germans left.
I remember one time we were building a bridge. Our job was to pull big rocks from the quarry through the jungle so other workers could process them further. We would drag stones as big as cars through the jungle for days. It was horrible. All of us suffered. Many of us died. There were many accidents. I saw friends being crushed by boulders as big as houses. It was unbearable. We would walk for many days without getting anything to eat. One time, we walked for 5 days without getting any food. We asked the front guard if we could go looking for something to eat, but he said no. We were disposable to them. They didn't care if we lived or died. There were many of us. If one of us died, they would replace him the next day with somebody else. After the French guy left for his break, we asked our supervisor, a person in charge appointed by the French, usually another worker, if we could look for some food. He told us that we could go, but we wouldn't cover for us or take responsibility. But we didn't really have any choice, so we left hoping to return before the French guy returned. When we come back, we were unfortunately too late, so they beat us until we almost died. There was nothing we could do.
Which time do you think is better, the past or the present?
To me, I'm not so sure what is better. I don't feel like I have a good picture of everything that's going on today. The past was much simpler. You may not have colonization anymore today, but we in Togo still battle with it because I hear about what is happening in the world today and it is all too much for me. I hear about little children dying of starvation and people being ravaged by unknown diseases. We still have many wars and conflicts going on in the world. Death seems to be lurking around every corner. Back then, you could look your enemy in the eye. Now, they seem to be invisible.
Why do you think you have lived for so long? What is your secret?
I don't think about why I have lived for so long. I don't take my life for granted, and I just thank God that I have had such a rich, long, and fulfilling life. I believe I'm very lucky. I'm fit. I can see. I can think, and I can recognize my children and my grandchildren. I just can't use my legs anymore. But above all, I'm happy. Don't cash in our existence too much. I'm a simple man. As long as there is a good harvest at the end of the year and enough to eat for my family, that is all that is important to me.
To answer the initially posed question of why there are so many people over 100 years in the villages and the mountains, I have come to a rather unspecific answer. The question never occurred to the individuals concerned. They would never question their destiny or the intentions of God. They are just grateful for the life that they have been given. Certain things in life are simply out of our control. On a more scientific note, perhaps the absence of stress factors commonly found in our modern world, of which these people are so isolated from, gives them a richer and deeper connection to nature. They consume natural food given to them by nature, whereas we enjoy our heavily processed burgers. The former relationship to nature may pose favourable to an increased lifespan. We should all strive to being closer to nature. Another differentiating factor is that village communities are usually very close-knit. Social interactions are proven to be very important to our mental health. We have grown very disconnected from our natural lifestyle. Our mind has been warped by manipulating outside forces, harvesting our attention in favour of ever-growing profit quotas. As much as I, at times, relish in the luxuries presented to us in our developed world, I often contemplate whether the trade we made was favourable. The apparent benefits appear to be so obvious on the surface, but what are we losing in return? Our humanity? Autonomy? Independence and self-reliance? Both sides have advantages and disadvantages. However, one is rarely lived by choice. It is only from the inside perspective that we can see the truth. Perhaps we can incorporate the best aspects of both lifestyles into a more beneficial one for all of us, so we can all reach such a high age.
Mày bà bê nào lẽ mày bà bê nào lẽ ini betul tu bayi tu ba masuk biar kuradi tu ba aduh biar kuradi tu ba jumlah biar kuradi.
Merci beaucoup.
Voilà. Just now getting his